Hello, everybody. So I'm going to be reading aloud to you the article. You should have your document up. You don't need to watch the video. I would just listen as I read, but it's up to you. You could listen to it one time and read along, and then maybe listen again or like replay anything if you want to take notes. Remember, the notes are a little later in the document, just like I explained in the other video. All right, so the article is called Code Switching: What It Is and Why It Matters by United Language Group. So just keep in mind that when you cite this article, you're going to use this as the author name, and then this is the title name. Just keep that in mind. On an average day, you might get up, go to work or school, come home, spend time with family and friends, and then go to bed. It sounds pretty typical, doesn't it? But you might be code switching all day without even realizing it. So, what is code switching, and why is it so useful and important in our day-to-day life? There are two definitions. 1. Switching or combining languages. The definition of code switching has two parts. The first definition talks about the action of switching between or combining two or more languages. Code switching focuses on using words and phrases from different languages as they suit the situation. This kind of code switching is mostly used within bilingual communities, and there are many reasons to use it, such as the need to fit in with a group, as a force of habit, or to communicate thoughts and ideas that might be easier to explain in a specific language. Of course, speakers can't just plug in whatever words they choose and ignore grammar rules. When code switching, it might seem casual and easy to an outside observer. In reality, there are many parts to code switching that must be included to make it understandable and natural. Using different dialects, the second definition is using different dialects and mannerisms. The second definition of code switching describes the use of different dialects, accents, language combinations, and behaviors within groups in order to show your identity. With this definition, code switching is used by everyone as they change their language style based on who they're talking to, what they're talking about, where they are, and much more. This type of code switching occurs in social groups, primarily based on age, location, and racial background. All of these identities affect how and when people code switch. Why do we code switch? For the most part, we code switch to identify with a particular group of people, and most of the time we don't even realize we're doing it. Code switching happens in more situations than with only bilingual speakers. Consider how you speak around your teachers. More than likely, your speech becomes measured and professional. In contrast, when you're around friends or family, your speech transitions into a casual tone as you feel more comfortable in this social setting. These code switches become more noticeable based on the social setting. When at home, you might use your home dialect or language to fit in. Code switching is important in many social groups. For example, in an article with NPR, Eric Deggans talked about how saying the word guys in his social group growing up was seen as an insult. Among his African American friends, this term was rarely, if ever, used. Because it was rarely used, Deggans was accused of being influenced by other people outside of his own, and that his use of the word guys came across as an insult. He writes that he learned very quickly how to code switch based on his social group. Code switching is a powerful tool to persuade people as well. When an individual uses a group's dialect or accent, the audience is more receptive to what they have to say. As a result, politicians have been known to code switch to a casual tone around certain groups. Code switching in a multicultural world. Code switching is an important skill to have in a world with many different cultures. Moving from one social group to the next and changing how we talk allows us to succeed at school and in our friendships while avoiding awkward situations and finding common ground through language.